The update's finally here. It may not be 0.4, but 0.3.5 brings a lot of major changes and new aspects to the game. You may be wondering, what new did they add with this? Should I hop back in, or should I keep waiting till 0.4? Personally, I would recommend everyone hop back on the game, try this out. A lot of cool new features and upgrades have been made to the game, including gunplay, FPS, stability, and audio. Let's jump right in, break down a lot of the changes that they added, as well as give my thoughts on all the new features that have now been implemented into the game. Starting off, they upgraded to Unreal Engine 5.5, which allowed them to optimize the rendering, significantly increasing performance on mid-end CPUs and lower-end CPUs, and overall lower and mid-tier PCs. The VRAM usage was reduced by about 400 megabytes on all the systems. They were able to also reduce the RAM by about 2 gigabytes on all systems. As you can see by the graph in front of you, a lot of those areas that had heavy FPS hits have now been stabilized a bit better. There's a lot less red, as you can see on the map, which is great to see, especially in some of those areas like Tiger Bay. You can actually see a significant improvement. They also focused on reducing hitching during gameplay and fixed a lot of crashes, so overall, I think the engine upgrade was a big help to the game. They've also done an AI overhaul. They've made the AI smarter, more human AI with enhanced damage response. They've adjusted AI difficulty level, the distance to target, and the weapon's effective range. Weather effects such as fog and rain intensity, meaning if it's very foggy out or there's a lot of rain, the AI is going to have a harder time hitting you. The AI health status and suppression level, meaning if the AI is suppressed, it'll have a harder time locking onto you. Target movement and duration of target lock, which essentially means how long the AI takes to focus onto you. Their aim is kind of like a cone, and it slowly gets smaller and smaller as they lock onto you. So I believe they made this duration a bit longer to give you more of a chance at killing that AI. They also specified the several actions that can now break or modify an AI's target lock, including the target leaving the line of sight, the AI swapping to a new target, the AI reloading, getting hit, becoming suppressed, and or stunned. They've gone ahead and reworked a lot of the weapon audio as well. Shooting sound has been tweaked for all weapons with improved directional perception of shooting enemies and realistic behavior of sonic crack and shot sounds for all weapons. For this, I've kind of gotten used to hearing the crack after you hear the gunshot, whereas now, as I'll show you in this clip that's playing on the screen right now, you're actually going to hear the crack and then the gunshot, which is how it should be as it is in real life. Next, they went ahead and optimized first-person movement animations, which reduced the impact of several animations on the first-person perspective to minimize excessive character movement and animation blending. As shown on the screen right now, if you're slightly moving to the left, slightly moving to the right, you can see in 3.4, you actually kind of jump around, bounce a little bit more, whereas now in the new update, it's a lot smoother, and you can kind of slide left to right without those extra little jumps and bumps happening in the game. They also went and adjusted weapon sway, making it more responsive to the player's move. This one, I kind of gotta play it a bit more for myself to see kind of how this feels in the actual game. I tested it a little bit in one of the test builds, and I'm not sure how I feel on it yet. I'm curious to see how you guys feel about it after you guys play around with it a little bit. So comment down below how you guys like the new weapon sway changes. But you can definitely see visually there's a lot more movement to the gun as you're walking while ADS. The entire weapon recoil system has had a huge overhaul now. There is a completely new recoil formula that has been implemented to simulate the behavior of real firearms more accurately. And as you guys can see from what's playing on the screen right now, guns like the MCX, it's kind of wild how much recoil this thing has now. The system adds the need for precise player input, greater weapon balance, flexibility, and adds a more authentic feel during weapon customization. Full auto firearms now use a unique recoil patterns that are tied to each weapon's lower receiver. Recoil is now calculated using real physics and recoil energy consumption. Introduced gas factor to simulate differences between weapon types and barrel lengths. Muzzle brakes, suppressors, and gas blocks now feature new efficiency behavior, reducing the impact of gas factor. Recoil control parts can further reduce remaining recoil, and aiming and moving states now affect the recoil dynamically. ADS, crouch, and prone reduce recoil while movement increases it based on your speed. This is a big change to how the guns and how gunfights are going to go down in Gray Zone. I think now you're going to end up seeing a lot more players crouched, taking more precise shots, versus sprinting at you, trying to get that quick kill up close. Personally, this is going to change how I approach some fights, where now I may wait an extra minute or two to get a better angle, reposition myself, crouch, and get that clean kill. This change personally seems to be a controversial one. They added a new and improved death sequence from the first-person perspective. Upon death, the player's view now turns towards the approximate direction of the incoming shot. And personally, I'm not a fan of this one. I think that most players have a decent understanding of where they get shot from, and especially if you're one of those players who likes to snipe or maybe play at more of a distance and try to conceal yourself to where people can't find you, this kind of counteracts that and lets people know, hey, he's this direction. I think the actual death scene and little sequence that they have of the character falling and it fading out is super cool. I love that they add that. I just don't understand the need to have your character turn towards the approximate direction that you were shot. They've also added a new server for mainland China, aimed at improving network quality for players over in that area. The server is going to be going through an extended testing phase, which after that's over, they'll evaluate whether they want to keep it permanently or maybe try something new. Lastly, I'm going to be putting up a lot of the major changes that have come along with this, from the most important community reported requested changes and fixes, performance optimizations, gameplay, the world in general and the map, the UI changes, custom server and other changes, technical and rendering fixes, and technical updates. Feel free to pause on any of those if you want to read through all those notes. That's basically the full patch notes of this patch, along with everything else that I covered prior. I'd love to stay and talk more about this, but I myself am going to be hopping into Grayzone right now, diving in and testing out a lot of these new features for myself. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe, as we're going to be covering all the minor and major updates, patches, and new news on Grayzone on this channel. Besides that, I'll catch you guys later.